Hello, my name is Dr. Amulya Rao, and I am the Chairperson of FICCI FLO Chennai. We are the women's wing of the Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Our mission is the holistic development and empowerment of women. We work at all levels of the spectrum, from grassroots skilling to scaling of businesses, and also empowering women at the director level and in leadership roles. We are focused on both traditional sectors like agriculture, textile, and handlooms, as well as sectors of the future, which include AI, digital economy, green tech, and the circular economy. Our work synergizes AI, digital, and financial literacy, along with startup and mentorship. In this way, we don't work standalone, but we build a scalable ecosystem. A key priority this year is the automobile and mobility sector, which is the cornerstone of the Tamil Nadu economy. We will be working at all levels to try to increase women's participation through shop floor networking, as well as increasing women in this industry. Our goal is clear: to create a strong pipeline of women who don't just participate, but who also lead. In aligning with government's FICCI Bharat program, we remain committed to enabling women with skills, opportunities, and leadership, driving not just individual success, but creating a systemic and long-term success.
I'm Asha Ravi, Vertical Head of Handlooms and Handicrafts FLO 26-27. The Handlooms and Handicrafts vertical this year is guided by a clear mandate to preserve and promote India's rich artisanal heritage while creating sustainable market linkages for women-led enterprises. A key highlight is our Flow Bazaar called Nayana, happening on July 24th and 25th. It's a curated platform bringing weavers and artisans from across the country directly to consumers, expanding their market reach and strengthening their livelihoods. In Tamil Nadu, we will support Zans with digital and financial literacy, while also positioning local crafts as meaningful contemporary gifting options. We will bring learning to life through a textile trail to Kanjipuram and a 4-day immersion in Kutch alongside expert-led sessions on textiles and heritage. We will also spotlight unique traditions like the Chettinad Kotan weaving and connect temple garland artisans to our Project Bloom, creating new livelihood opportunities. Through all this, our goal is simple: to move from appreciation to action and ensure our crafts not only survive but truly thrive.
Good evening. The Artificial Intelligence and Digital Literacy vertical at FLO Chennai is driven by a simple mission: to ensure that no woman is left behind digitally. From grassroots to the boardroom level, we aim to equip every woman with the tools, knowledge, and confidence to thrive in a digital world. This year, we aim to focus on 3 key groups. At the grassroots level, we want to empower women with digital skills. This includes using smartphones, setting up Google accounts, and making UPI payments while also navigating the internet safely. For our members and MSMEs, we would like to digitally empower them to run their businesses more efficiently. This includes building websites, branding and marketing strategies, and also leveraging tools like Notion and Trello. And this will happen alongside expert-led roundtable discussions. For students, along with the government of Tamil Nadu, we aim to bring AI literacy to schools and colleges to empower the next generation. We are aligned with FLO National and are very excited to make use of workshops like the upcoming Google workshop so that we can skill every woman and make real lasting impact. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Nancy Satish, the Joint Secretary of FLO Chennai, FICCI FLO Chennai, and also the vertical head for the state-led industry, automobile and mobility. This year, our focus is totally towards empowering the women who are working in this sector, with inclusivity as a subject that we are most importantly looking and seeking for. Apart from that, we look forward to empowering the women, the students, and having partnerships with academia, that is in colleges like IIT, Anna University, in polytechnics and in ITIs too. We look forward to empowering these children who are studying in these polytechnics and ITIs to make them ready to be, attend these interviews in these organizations and be interview ready for it. With the EV technology that is being, Tamil Nadu being so front running on it, we also look forward to the women's participation and upskilling of the existing workforce in this structure of our company, of our organization. Not only are we looking at the mandate of empowering the membership to be exposed to involve who are involved in manufacturing to make the shop floor more inclusive. We look forward to also empowering already the women that are on the shop floor to be part of it. Looking forward. Thank you very much.
Distinguished medical professional, education counselor, entrepreneur, and a community leader. Born and raised in the United States, she completed her schooling in Michigan before pursuing her medical degree at Guntur Medical College, where she was a gold medalist. She began her medical career at Madras Medical College and went on to work with renowned surgeon Dr. S. Arumugam, followed by her association with Apollo Hospitals until 2014. Expanding her horizon into education, she pursued certification as a college counselor and has since been guiding students as a freelance college counselor. An accomplished entrepreneur, she serves as a director across multiple companies within her family business group, a role she has played for nearly 3 decades. And she's also co-founded Magam in 2021, an exclusive sari exhibition platform dedicated to promoting traditional craftsmanship and textile heritage. Her leadership journey is equally inspiring. She has served as president of the International Women's Association, IWA, been an executive committee member of the YPO Chennai chapter, and contributed actively to the PTA at both Shishya School and the American International School, Chennai. Within FICCI FLO Chennai, she has been an integral part of the leadership team, having served as fitness chair, joint secretary, and senior vice chair. Beyond her professional achievements, she is a woman of many talents. A state-level bridge player, a state-level swimmer, a trained Bharatanatyam and a Kuchipudi dancer. She is also an avid reader, reflecting her deep passion for learning. Dr. Amulya Rao is truly a real reflection of leadership, excellence, and diverse passions. Ladies, please join me in welcoming FICCI FLO Chennai Chapter Chairperson for the year 2026-2027, Dr. Amulya Rao. Over to you, Amulya.
Not just build networks, they build the future. This thought reflects the ethos of FICCI FLO, and it is truly an honor to address you as Chairperson of FICCI FLO Chennai 26-27. FLO has always been more than a network. It is a powerful collective of women shaping business, industry, and communities across India. You will be pleased to know that last year, FLO's national impact reached over 16 lakh women, and FLO Chennai was a big part of this, supported by our 1,400 strong membership. Each and every one of you has made a real difference, so please renew your membership and invite your friends to join us on this journey to make a lasting impact. As we begin, our guiding theme is clear: inspire, innovate, impact. We will bring this theme to life through our various verticals. This year, FICCI FLO Chennai will engage with key sectors such as agriculture, AI, and the automobile industry, creating access, awareness, and opportunities for women to participate and lead. The heart of our work also lies in a sector that is deeply connected to both our heritage and our future, textile and handlooms. This is not just an industry, it is a legacy. It represents craftsmanship, sustainability, and the strength of women-led enterprises across generations. From artisans to entrepreneurs, textiles create livelihood, preserve tradition, and offer immense potential for innovation and global relevance. At FLO Chennai, we aim to strengthen this ecosystem by enabling market access, encouraging design innovation, supporting entrepreneurship, and creating meaningful conversation that connects tradition with modern enterprise. It is especially meaningful that today's inaugural session aligns so closely with this vision. We are delighted to have with us Ms. Jayanti Reddy, an entrepreneur whose journey and deep engagement with textiles beautifully aligns with Flow ethos. Her work reminds us that fashion, much like leadership, is rooted in clarity of vision, courage in choice, and consistency in execution. In an ever-evolving world, it is this balance of tradition and forward thinking that truly defines her impact. Through her experience, we hope to gain not only insights into the world of textile and design, but also a deeper understanding of resilience, reinvention, and the power of staying authentic to one's vision. As Coco Chanel once said, in order to be irreplaceable, one must be different. This statement defines both passion and leadership. I hope today's conversation inspires each of us to embrace our individuality, lead with conviction, and create a legacy that is truly our own. Thank you. I want to ask the audience, I mean, I kind of gave it away, but do you know what designer I'm wearing? So, but a lot of you may have been surprised because this is not what we associate today with Jayanti Reddy. But this is, you know, one of your more original vintage pieces, if I may say so.
You're right.
So let's start there. So what inspired you, you know, to start the fashion label, especially given that you have a business background, you don't have a fashion background?
Right. So I honestly didn't think I would start a fashion label. It almost happened very, very organically. I graduated from college, came back to India. I actually worked with my dad in distribution and real estate for a year, and I think I very soon realized that it's not something I saw myself doing long term. At the same time, I was always deeply passionate about fashion, about clothing and textiles. Being from Hyderabad, raised in Hyderabad, we were always surrounded by the beautiful Nizami culture. It was so beautiful in itself, it was so nuanced, and it never felt excessive in any way. So I think that's something that subconsciously stayed with me, and that's where everything began.
Was there like a specific moment when you said, okay, I am going to build this luxury brand? I mean, was it a very calculated decision or did it happen more organically?
It definitely happened organically, but if I had to think of one moment, there was a time when there was actually a Tarun Telyani fashion show in Hyderabad at the Faluknuma Palace, and my mom was wearing one of these kind of tunics, actually, the one that you're wearing. This was almost, I think, only about 2 years into starting the label, and Tina Telyani walked up to her and said, "Where's this from and who's the designer? I want to, you know, source it for our multi-branded store on."
High praise indeed.
So I was really excited, and she was highly encouraging. She said, "You have to send us a collection immediately," and in a few months we did, and I think after that there was no looking back. It was perceived very well with everyone, and that's where it happened.
So obviously you have evolved, I mean, over the years, but how did you define sort of your brand DNA? Like what was the ethos behind it? I mean, you started off much more simple, and obviously you have now grown into one of the premier luxury brands. So tell us a little bit about how that evolution came about.
So it actually took me quite a long time to develop a brand DNA. Initially, of course, we were experimenting a lot with silhouettes, with fabrics, with textures, with embroidery. And today, if I saw a rack of my clothes on a stand, everything would just look different from the other. But I think over the years, it was quite evident. And you know, when a random person sees an outfit in a party and they say, "Oh, that's a Jayanti Reddy," it made me realize that we actually developed the DNA. And another important thing is that I work very closely with Indian crafts and textiles, and I always, I think from the beginning, tried to add a modern twist to it, and I think that's something that stuck with the brand for long.
Yeah, that segues into my next question, which is about working with artisans. So where did you start? You started by finding artisans, or by the branding, or finding buyers, or retail strategy? I mean, there's so many components to it. So where was the beginning, or it was, you know, all happening at the same time?
So I started in a very, very small way. We had one little tailor who used to do our basic alterations, and we started in one small store with, one tailor, one master, and we started experimenting with silhouettes, with drapes, and like I said, I'm not formally trained in fashion, so everything happened very differently. I can't even sketch to save my life. So, we would literally put fabrics up and I would explain everything through word of mouth. And yeah, that's how it began. And then slowly, I think we started expanding our team and things fell into place.
So you don't have a background in fashion, as you readily admit, but you do have a background in business. So how do you think that helped, the brand take off?
That actually really helped me, and I think it continues to do so. I think it gave our brand a lot of structure. Of course, initially I was just more interested in the whole creative part of building a brand, but I think the business aspect, whether, after the brand started growing to a certain extent, we started supplying to stores and stuff. The business side of things came into place, whether it was costing, managing inventory, managing production, timelines and everything. So even today on a day-to-day basis, I think I spend the least amount of time in designing and being creative. Most of my time goes in managing all these other things, which is the business side of things, and I think both of them go hand in hand, and it's almost impossible to sustain or create a proper brand without having the business side of things to it.
So true, and I mean, not that everybody can design either, but as you rightly said, to build a brand in any sphere, definitely the business background, I think, is what has been super helpful. So tell us some of the early milestones. Of course, you said it started out with Tina Dahliani, recognizing your brand, but after that there must have been some significant milestones along the way that you still remember.
100%. One of the major ones I'd say was Lakme Fashion Week. I remember multiple seasons we'd apply, had gotten rejected, but I think after 4 times of applying I got through, and I went through the very organic process of going through. I never used influence or anything, so it was super exciting when I got accepted into Lakme Fashion Week. It obviously put the brand on a different level, and I did multiple seasons, so that was one of the biggest milestones. If I had to think of a few more, the other one would be, I think, expanding our retail space to, expanding into multi-designer stores. Of course, we started with Ensemble, but once we got into Ogan and all these other ones, that really helped us. And beyond that, I think I'd have to say it's opening our own flagship stores. Hyderabad was home, and that felt very naturally. I had to do that, but other than that, we have 2 stores now in Delhi and Bombay, and I think that's been one of the biggest steps.
Any specific one event that you consider the actual turning point to scaling the brand?
I think I'd have to say it was India Couture Week. It's like she said, it's one of the biggest platforms and only the biggest designers do it. So to get through that, I think really has pushed our brand to the next level. People perceive it as one of the top brands now, so that's definitely one of those turning points.
Congratulations on that. So you have obviously expanded your brand, as you've been growing, into pret, accessories, menswear also, so this was again very organic, or how did you sort of decide, or each time did you decide, okay, this is the season that we're going to expand? And also once you have reached a certain level, were you pretty sure that now, okay, all of these are, just sort of going to succeed anyway, or there's any tension when you're creating a new, moving into a new line?
Definitely not. This also happened very gradually and naturally. Initially, when I started, I did a lot of these tunics, what you're wearing. In fact, these were meant for people. You could wear them to airports, you could wear them to work. They travel very easily, they don't crush. And I only used to do this, and then I remember my brother was getting married, so for my sister-in-law, I happened to make a lehenga. And that kind of gave me, that was the stepping stone to get into bridal fashion. And after many years of doing bridal wear, I think I was forced to start menswear, which I honestly still don't enjoy as much. Every bride would say that I don't want to go to another designer, and you have to make something matching. So I think we were quite forced to start menswear. And another category is our accessories, which are our little bags and potlies and belts and stuff that we do. And the way we started that is quite interesting. So luxury fashion is known to not be sustainable. People say that luxury is something that you can never, you can't be sustainable in that field at all. But we always used our leftover bits of embroidery, leftover fabrics, and we used to make belts and little bags and stuff. But now that's a huge category for us. We do them as gifting. We have bulk orders of 800-900 pieces, so that is something that's doing really well. And yeah, that's it. So it definitely happened organically and not forced.
We do have a few of our members who are wearing, some of your lovely
pieces.
And we have Akila, Ashna, and Samyukta. And these are some of, your most recognized pieces. I'll just have them, come once onto the stage. I mean, two of them are actually matching, but
They're all my favorites, actually.
okay, I guess all of them are going to come. So a couple of them, maybe you can just say the differences between sort of your couture versus, your little bit lesser pieces.
Sure. So what you're wearing with is something that I started back in the day. What Akhila is wearing and the other purple outfit is, this is our luxury pret line that I would call, where people can wear these for their, if someone's getting married, the bride can wear them or use them for their trousseau. Friends and families of brides can wear them. The other three, if you see, are very different in terms of the embroidery, and this is what we recently launched at Couture Week in 2024 and 25, and I've been this one and the other one.
So this is the and Deepika are wearing.
Yes. And this is the shimmer category that we call, and it's been doing really well and people are loving it because it's completely different from what I used to do. But having said that, we're trying hard not to, not to the other previous ones. So it's quite challenging today to kind of balance and stick to all these categories.
Thank you, ladies. You are beautiful. So obviously, your pieces are all hand embroidered. So what are the challenges you face running a business which is centered on, handicraft, naturally dyed textile? There must be supply chain issues, other issues. Tell us a little about those challenges.
Absolutely, there's lots of challenges from the very beginning, from even sourcing fabrics. I work a lot with hand-woven textiles, and a lot of people don't understand the beauty in it. Some people say, no, it's bad quality because you see that little bit of slub. So from fabrics to embroideries, like you said, everything is hand done, and sometimes embroidery falls off because, it doesn't stay very long on the garment. So these are challenges that we've, I think, faced from the very beginning, and we still continue to do so. But as a brand, we've always been very open to taking pieces back, rectifying them, and giving it back to the clients in case they face certain issues. So I think these kind of challenges in a brand, like in a fashion label, are part and parcel of it, and there's no avoiding it. But yeah.
Share something that didn't go as planned. Obviously now we see, the end result of obviously years of hard work, but there must have been pitfalls along the way. So share something that didn't work in terms of, product launch or brand strategy, or something that you're like, gosh, I really wish I hadn't done that.
100%. So there's been multiple such mistakes, and I think we only learn from them. There have been a couple of collections, like huge collections that we've done thinking, maybe this will be different and the brand will look a little different, but it didn't do well at all. We've had to liquidate all those pieces on sale over the years. So there's multiple like this, but I think it really helps you grow and learn as you go along and experience these mistakes.
Ever considered launching something more fusion or like a sub-brand to increase your market reach? Or
that's something I've been seriously considering. Actually, it's been on my mind for the past couple of years. I think it would be more of like a luxury pret line. Something much lighter than what these purple outfits are. And it should, I think I was torn between doing a complete pret line, which is say under 10K, but I think that's a whole different ball game. I've done a bunch of research, and I realized I'd have to eat and breathe my work, and that's not something I'm ready to do. So I do plan on starting a relatively simpler line, easier silhouettes, but hopefully I'll explore it further within the coming year.
We hope you come and launch it at FICCI FLO Chennai.
Yes, Chennai would be a great market for that.
But obviously you are a luxury brand, so is there any role for e-commerce in luxury brands such as yours?
Absolutely. I think both e-commerce and seeing them physically on the floor are, there's something that go hand in hand. Social media, for example, is also one of our main ways of marketing. I think print media, for example, is kind of losing its importance these days. So yeah, definitely e-commerce is, and even if people don't go and go onto a particular website and actually buy an expensive bridal outfit, but just having it there to view, I think that's the first step, and then they make an appointment to come and see you, so it definitely works.
Do you ever have brides or clients who want you to make so many changes that it kind of differs from your vision, and like how do you handle that?
All the time, but I think we create a balance between the two. I think we try to integrate what the customers want, but not to a level where we have to change what our brand is known for. But we do try and incorporate as much as we can.
So future plans for international expansion? You said you have obviously flagship stores across India. But what about London, New York? What are you looking
So we
forward
do
to?
supply to a few stores internationally. We do trunk shows in the US, and we do supply to one store in London, one in Dubai. And there is a huge potential, but I think India itself spoils us. There's so much demand here, and I'm not able to, fully focus on that yet. So I think it's a couple of years away.
Obviously, the Indian luxury market is extremely fast growing. What sets your brand apart in this very overcrowded space?
I think I'd have to say the fact that what I mentioned earlier is, kind of working with these beautiful Indian textiles and heritage crafts, but making sure there's a modern twist to it. Like even if you see, I work very closely with Banaras, but we've always made sure that the essence of the textile stays intact, but we always add something to it which adds a little more bling and it's much more wearable.
Obviously, building any business in any sector is time consuming, and you are a young mother also. So how do you balance? I mean, I'm sure you get this question all the time, work-life balance, that's what all mothers want and crave. So how do you manage that?
It's not as difficult as it seems, honestly, but let me tell you. So I work for about maybe 3 hours every day. That's it. I go into work at around 10:30, and I'm there till around 1, and then I don't go back after. But the reason why I'm able to do this is because I have a fantastic team, and over the years, I've built that kind of trust within them, where I give them that leeway to grow, and I kind of leave a lot of things to them. And I think that's when this happened a few years ago. In fact, when I was pregnant, I was kind of forced. I had to be on bed rest for 6 months, and this was when we had that collaboration or association with Bulgari, and I didn't have a choice. So I think that's when we hired a larger team, and they've just been fantastic. So I kind of leave a lot of things to them, and I trust them quite a bit, and it really works out. So so I work for those 3-4 hours in the morning, and then I go back home, and I'm able to spend time at home with my son.
That's lovely. I think this is what all mothers want. So you did speak about, sort of organically how you got into it, but along the way, did you have any mentors who you kind of turned to for advice or business or fashion or both?
I'd have to say my mom. She's going to hate me for saying this, but she helps me a lot in the designing part of it. I think I got that creativity from her, and she helps me. And when I tell her to help me with the business side, she said, I don't understand numbers, so please don't ask me. So I think she's been a great person. Other than that, no, I kind of consider doing a course and going to people, but we've never had the time once the brand started, so no.
I can imagine. Now these days, the buzzword is all AI. Everybody's talking about that. So where do you see that fitting in? Does it have a role in fashion at all? And if it does, I mean, are you exploring anything, on the AI technology side?
Technology in general, I think, is very huge in the fashion industry, but AI specifically, most definitely, I think it's huge, and I think it can do a lot for it. But at least for me personally, I haven't explored it as yet. I definitely want to, whether it's in terms of making catalogs, or rather than going through this whole rut of planning campaigns and photo shoots, I think AI can do a great job. But in terms of the designing part, since ours is so customized, it's couture, it's made to order, we kind of integrate what each client wants. I think maybe that would be difficult, but AI is huge, and I think it's got I think it'll really take fashion to the next level.
What advice would you have? Now we do have some younger women in the audience, and some of them are also interested in fashion and luxury branding, marketing. I mean, what's your advice to them, if any,
I don't think I'm the best person to be giving this advice, but if I had to, I'd say just trust what you do, and be true to what you feel is authentic, and everything will fall in place. And definitely don't ignore the business side, because that's one big learning that I've learned over the years, is to blend both creativity and the business side of things. So I don't regret having a degree in business and marketing anymore.
So there, you should get your business degree. That's the advice, speaking as a mom. But we, again, another buzzword, everyone says sustainability. You did touch upon it. You said, that's how you moved into doing Potlis and all to begin with. But does sustainability really have any place in, luxury fashion? And also, are customers willing to pay more or anything different for this, or is it just, a buzzword that kind of goes around but is not very relevant?
I think in the larger scheme of things, I think it is quite hard to stay truly sustainable in luxury fashion. But there are certain ways, if I had to speak for myself, other than the little bits and pieces of embroidery and leftover fabrics that we use to make accessories, another way that I try to stay sustainable is today if we make a heavy bridal outfit for somebody, for a bride, she comes back to us in a year or two and says, listen, I don't know how to reuse this. We're very open to changing like a lehenga into a simpler kurta, or we, give her a matching very simple shirt or a tucked in shirt or a knotted shirt to pair with her lehenga so that she can re-wear it later. So there are small ways that you can try to be sustainable, but yeah, you're right. I think in luxury fashion, it is quite difficult.
So segueing back to, you said you obviously had to, were forced to build a bigger team at a certain point. So what does your team say about you? What would they say about your leadership style?
I think initially I was extremely hands-on, and they think I'm one of the easiest bosses to have, which I keep getting yelled at by a lot of people saying that I can't be that lenient. But I think it's worked for me, and I'm really happy with how it's going. So I'll stick to that.
Nice. So I asked quite a few, I think, across fashion, across things. So let's go to a funner part. We'll do a little bit of rapid fire questions. So this is always the fun part of interviews. So just whatever comes to your mind. So one trend that you secretly wish would disappear?
I think completely sheer transparent clothing.
Even if the person has a very good figure?
Even so.
One color that you could work with endlessly?
My purple, which I'm obsessed with.
One color you could avoid, if there's any such color?
None actually. No.
No?
I think yeah.
You love all your children. Your go-to outfit when you don't want to think?
A kaftan.
One fashion rule that you love breaking?
I think not complying to trends.
One craft technique that you would like to work with more?
I think Zardozi, we've always, coming from Hyderabad and having that Nizami culture, I'd say Zardozi, I of course work with it very, very extensively, but I think there's a lot more that I can do with it, which I've been trying, so yeah.
Looking forward to seeing that. If not fashion, what would you have been?
I don't think I can think of anything else. Then I'll just sit at home.
Tell us one of the most unusual requests that you've received from a client.
There was a person who came into the store, and then I think one of the salespeople called me and they said, ma'am, somebody wants a lehenga in 15 lakhs. So I said, okay, but I don't think I have something like that. Why don't you show her all the other lehengas? But she refused. She said she would only buy it if it was 15 or above. And I thought that was extremely strange. I said, I really don't know how to make a lehenga that could reach that price level, but that was definitely one of the weirdest ones.
So did you sell it to her finally?
Absolutely not. I'd have to add gold or diamonds to it, but no.
So quickly, this or that?
Okay.
Handloom or print?
Handloom.
India or international markets?
India.
Couture or pret?
Pret.
Tradition or reinvention?
Tradition.
Risk taker or cautious planner?
Cautious planner.
Sari or lehenga?
Sari.
Ah, minimal or maximal?
Minimal.
Really? That was a surprising. I thought for sure you would say maximal.
No.
Describe your journey in 3 words or less.
Trial and error, I think.
That was exactly 3 words, so that's good. Finally, I would like to say, obviously you've had a phenomenal journey, but hindsight is always 20/20. So looking back, what do you think you might have done differently, if you could do it over again?
I think I'd have to say maybe, be formally trained in fashion just to understand what could have been different. Yeah. So
But do you think? Sorry.
No. So if I still could, I would love to do at least a 6-month or a 1-year course just to see if the way I think or the way I work would be different, but I don't see that happening. But yeah, that's something that I would.
But also your lack of training probably gives free rein to your creativity, which sometimes
Absolutely.
training also stifles.
You're right, yeah.
So what did I not cover? What did I miss? Tell us something interesting. Tell us some tidbit that, I wasn't able to dig out from you.
I honestly think you've covered everything, and now my mind's just there. I can't think of anything, but if I do, I'll definitely do it when we chat later.
Nice. So I think the audience definitely has quite a few questions for you. So we can call for a few questions if you don't mind that. So there we go. We have, I think Srimati is there, who is on our handloom and textile vertical.
Love that fawn dress. How do you manage the replications part? The copy comes out before you make an original in luxury. How do you manage that?
So yes, we do see a lot of copies, but I think I take that as a form of flattery. You're talking about the one Amulya's wearing?
No, I think she's talking about Samyukta's.
Oh, Samyukta's. Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of these ones. Luckily, I don't think I've seen too many copies, but in general, we have. And like I said, I do take it as a form of flattery. But I think what's more difficult for us is when people, who are doing really well, kind of take inspiration and they tend to look very similar. That is something that kind of hurts the brand much more than outright replicas.
Hi. Right here. Hi, Jayanti. It's been a very, very inspiring talk. Thank you so much. I have a quick question, which is, what role do you think collaborations like the Bulgari one play in shaping the future of fashion?
I think collabs play a huge role. Even what I've done with Bulgari, I think we have to call it more of an association. But they play a huge role. Today you see all these designers collaborating, whether it's Sabyasachi, Tarun Telyani, Rahul Mishra, everyone, and I think it just puts the brand on a different level. It also gives the brand a lot more ideas to create differently. In fact, the shimmer collection that we'd also done, we started doing that only during our association with Bulgari to make sure that it kind of matches their jewelry. So I think it expands every brand's I think their realm of thinking, and it really does work.
Just taking off on that question, earlier, I think Indian brands were looking for that association, to sort of say we have a right. But do you think that's actually changing a little bit? Because international brands are now really looking, India is a huge market, and they want to associate with, luxury Indian designers because it raises their profile.
Definitely. In fact, that's how the association with Bulgari happened. I had multiple people who came up to me, by the way, and said, how much did you pay to get this collaboration to happen? I said, I swear this happened very organically. The Bulgari team called me and said that, we've done a lot of research and we thought that your products would work really well for our jewelry, and they wanted to basically market their jewelry to the Indian customer. And there's a huge market today. I believe there are multiple brides who've been buying the serpentine necklace for their wedding, which is quite unthought of, right? Nobody would have expected to do that. But like you said, this is just the basic, a perfect example of that, and it's a huge market for these luxury brands here.
It's nice to see India on the world map.
Hi, Jayanti. I said you've taken us to the world of luxury fashion, and most of us here are motivated to buy, and as you already said, people are there with all the collaboration and all. So my question is, what are the points we should look at when somebody is going to buy a luxury outfit? What are the points they should look when you're doing your first purchase?
I think obviously it should look different. It should look, it should be unique and one of its kind. Quality should be something that you should obviously look at, and also post-purchase customer service. I think that's very important, because when you're paying so much money for an outfit, I think a customer is just much more willing to pay that price only when they know that they'll get a great customer service after that.
Hi Jayanti, it is really relief to know that AI is very good in showing your catalog. Me being a designer myself, I know the struggle it goes through the photo shoot and So how intricate designs are seen when you do through AI?
Like I said, I honestly haven't tried it that way. There is a huge potential, and I know a lot of brands have done it. I myself haven't explored it. But I think in terms of simpler things like catalogs and campaigns, once I've tried it in a small way where you literally put a garment on a hanger and then you say, this and this model, and why don't you do it in a more luxurious way, and it's come out quite perfectly. From the little bit that I've tried, I still haven't invested much in getting a lot more softwares and stuff, but from what I've heard, I think there's a huge potential, and there's a lot of detailing as well that you can see in these
Good
AI
to know,
catalogs.
really good to know that. Thank you.
Hi Jayanti, hi. Thank you so much for seeing us today. I have a question around labels. In the world that we are in today, everyone is very quick to put a label on someone. You are either this bucket, or this bucket. With that in mind, what is a common misconception that you face as a luxury designer in India?
Sorry, you said so the label?
Yeah, so people label, like I see that with younger folks.
Okay.
So we put labels on people that you either fall into this bucket or this bucket. Similarly, people have preconceived notions about designers. So is there a common misconception that
I don't think so, and I don't know if I've actually experienced this, but give me an example. I really haven't come.
I think maybe she means like when you say, okay, a designer is like she'll only wear very expensive things because she's a luxury designer, or that's a simple example, but
yeah, you're right. Maybe I think I didn't get that properly earlier. So I honestly don't think they're doing that to portray something specific. I think it's a lot to do with personal style and what you do. A lot of times people come up to me and say, Jayanti, please stop wearing an Anamika Khanna, you're a designer yourself. But I just love her clothes and I'm always in Anamika, and I'm bored of mine because I'm looking at them from morning to evening. I can't imagine wearing them again.
Thank you. I think we would respect you so much more for that.
Hi Jayanti.
Hi.
I remember seeing your collection at the Crafts Council exhibitions at Chennai when you started.
Yes.
Something like what Amulya is wearing. So I was still working with Kalamkari, and I want to know how your collaboration with artisans are. Are you taking care of their welfare? Are they being paid well?
So, to the first part of your question, like the tunics that Amulya is wearing, these are actually very, very beautiful hand-dyed, naturally dyed, hand-block printed tunics, Ajrak prints. And earlier it was very easy to do larger collections with these kind of fabrics because they were easily available. It's sad, but now I think the older generations are unable to do these techniques anymore. It's extremely time consuming. They're very, very exclusive fabrics, and I don't think the younger generations are as interested in doing them anymore. So it's quite rare to find these fabrics. You still do, but for a luxury brand who's looking for thousands of meters, it's almost impossible now. We still have a select few clients from Chennai who keep coming to me in Hyderabad and say they want them, but we've literally got very, very few left. It's not possible to do them in bulk. And the other part of your question about how we take care of them, I think I'm proud to say that we were one of the very, very few brands that paid all our people, and we paid salaries and took care of a lot of weavers even through lockdown. I think most of the brands did, but we continued to do so. So I think they're the beginning of how I even began a brand. So I think I, as a part, did that.
fantastic. Any last questions?
Hi Jayanti, I'm Sumi, and I'm from a similar industry as you are. I was quite surprised when you mentioned that you work 3 hours a day, because if at all I choose to do that, I end up feeling really guilty that I'm not putting in enough effort. And my question to you is, when you started your 3-hour workday, what is the first thing that you delegated, and how much of delegation is too much?
So I'll tell you how it works. When I go in for 3 hours a day, of course, when I have a show coming up or we have some big event, of course, I'm there much more. But I'm also quite lucky that my office and my house and my mom's house are literally 2 minutes away from each other. I think in Hyderabad we have that luxury, luckily. And even today, when I go into work for 3 hours a day, I think once I enter, I do my stuff for an hour, maybe the creative side of things, and the rest of the time I'm just meeting, either sitting with the production team and kind of planning things, then we sit with the inventory team and plan things, then I sit with accounts and plan things. But that's something that's happened more recently, and it just seems like a much more efficient way of doing things. And I think my brother and dad have been quite, helpful in this. They gave me brilliant advice all through, and I kind of, just followed them blindly, and it worked out really well.
Thank you. I think with that we have come to the end of the question and answer session. If anybody else has anything. Oh, there's one hand way in the back. I think the back rows never get their due. There's... Yes.
Hi ma'am, I truly admire how your label is timeless and rooted. Ma'am, if someone is buying the Jayanti Reddy for the first time, what piece would you choose to understand the soul of the brand?
I think I would say maybe one of the kaftans that I do. I think you can understand the textiles that I use because they're all pure, rich silk fabrics. It also has a little bit of embroidery, and it also talks about how simple and easily wearable our silhouettes are. So I would have to say one of the kaftans. They look like kurtas almost. You can wear them to a mehndi, you can wear them out, dress it up with jewelry, dress them down. So definitely I'd say pick up a kaftan if that's what you were looking at.
Your brand has brought kaftan from, nightwear into actually, luxury party wear. The last, I think.
Yeah, the last one, and not so serious, something fun. If you had someone you could, an icon or a historic queen that you could dress, who would that be? Someone you haven't dressed yet or would love to dress in your clothing?
I think I'd have to say Deepika Padukone.
Some reason I thought it would be either Rekha ji or someone from maybe a historic being, but the Padukone is good. Thanks.